What's going on, everyone? It's Tay, aka Slay, and I thank you for joining me today. I know you all saw the title. We're going to be talking about one James Charles. If you're not interested in the drama and the tea, there's a video coming tomorrow, a few more next week, so I will see you then. You can go ahead and click off. But I was asked by a fellow YouTuber by the name of Metamorphosis Rocks to give my 2 cents on James' most recent controversies. So I'm going to do that because I'm a woman of the people. If you're expecting me to drag James Charles, that's not going to happen. I actually don't have very strong feelings about James Charles. I am neither a stan nor am I a hater. I actually followed James Charles for a little bit and then he just became way too much for me. And I unfollowed him, I unsubscribed from him, life went on. But he seems to keep popping up in these things that he can actually prevent. I think the thing that Rox specifically asked me to comment on was his use of the N-word while lip syncing to a rap song. I know this happened a few months ago. So I don't know if this was a new live stream that he was doing and he said the word again and promptly cut off the stream, or if we're still talking about the one from a few months ago where he was in drag and he did that. I am not one of those people who feels a certain type of way about a different demographic listening to hip hop. I just don't. Music is for everybody, it's universal. My thing with James Charles, I know he'll never see this video, but my advice to him, listen to Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Offset, Quavo, the Migos, listen to, Future, whoever you listen to on full blast. Enjoy yourself. Life is too short. But if you're going to play it and have it on during a live stream, don't lip sync. Don't sing along because you seem to be unable to do that without saying the word. And you know that that is a hot button issue. You're old enough to understand and you're around people who know the power of that word and what it can do to somebody's career. I have friends of all different backgrounds and when I hear them say and use a song, I give them the side eye and they're like, I'm sorry, but just keep yourself out of controversy by not saying it. I'm a fan of a YouTuber by the name of Michael Prasad. He was doing a video where he attempted not to roast an Instagram comedian. And in one of the videos that he was reacting to, there was a song playing where they were lip syncing and it was a song with the N-word in it. And the comedian did that. It's that simple. Or just don't use that song or just don't lip sync along to it. Like, there are ways to prevent controversy from happening. Now, do I think James is a racist? Absolutely not. I don't see that at all. I don't think that he has that type of hatred in his heart by him saying it in a rap song. I do think he should acknowledge it. And for the people who are going to say, well, if it's such a bad word, then no one should be saying it, there are videos all over the internet of linguists explain the use of the word in the Black community. That's why I give my non-Black friends who say it in a song the side eye so that they know it's still not acceptable for me to say. I know James knows that it's not acceptable for him to say. That's why he responded the last time this happened where he was like, this person is reaching, I didn't say it. If this is the third time, I think Rock said that in her tweet, this is the third time this has happened, just don't do it anymore. Just don't lip sync or sing along to songs on your live stream because this is going to keep happening because you don't seem to have the ability to stop yourself when you know that word is coming up. You know the song well enough to know that it's in there. You know when it's coming in the song. You knew enough to do this the first or second time. So just don't do it anymore. The other controversy that happened, and Kevin James Bennett actually brought this up again, I saw it this morning right before I made this video, where he was talking about this tweet that James tweeted out, it was either Christmas Eve or the day before, where he was like, all I want is a good D to suck for Christmas, to be honest. Okay. I am not one, I don't censor myself on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, anything like that. So I don't believe in people censoring themselves. I don't believe in people not showing their true selves. It's gonna come out eventually. The difference is, and I'm not here for the argument that his audience is younger and he should be mindful of that. Trust and believe. Anyone who has social media influencer as their career knows their demographic. He knows that there are younger people watching him. Anybody on YouTube knows that there are younger people who watch them. So the thing that bothers me about this tweet is, why don't you have a private Twitter account? Any influencer who is prominent, who has hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers on any social platform should have their public Twitter, Instagram, Facebook for interacting with their fans and announcing product launches and things like that, and a private Twitter where you can talk about the sex you want to have with people that you select that you know aren't going to freak out because you posted that on social media. I'm a very sex positive person. I truly believe that sex is one of the greatest things about being human, is that we get to have sex and enjoy our own bodies and other people's bodies in the ways that we are comfortable. And I honestly believe that if we were more open about sexual expression and things of that nature, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we have in society surrounding sex. It is a very personal choice. I believe that comprehensive sexual education is the way to go, because if you look at every city, state, country that has comprehensive sexual education, they have the lowest rates of teen pregnancy. I believe that it is every parent's job to have open and honest conversations about sex and sexuality with their children. I bring this up because people keep saying, well, James has a young audience. I'm fully of the belief that it is not James Charles or any influencer's job to raise your children. If he says something and your child comes to you and asks you about this, it's your job to sit down and have a conversation with them. A lot of people feel that it was a tacky tweet. Everybody's tastes are different, so I'm not here to insult anybody who sees his tweet as disgusting or whatever. But interestingly enough, in the thread created by Kevin James Bennett about James Charles' tweet, somebody pointed out that Marlene Estelle had said something similar in reply to a tweet by Raw Beauty Christie. Well, Raw Beauty Christie was talking about how good a piping hot shower felt. She said something like, does anything feel better than a piping hot shower? And Marlena replied with piping eggplant emoji, yes, I went there. I truly believe that the reason that this is a problem isn't because of what he said, because a lot of people say worse things than that on Twitter and we don't care, mainly because they're not in the spotlight. But I've seen other people say similar things that have that blue check next to their name. I honestly believe that because James is at the level that he's at, and he needs to realize this too, is that there are a lot more eyes on you. Supportive, critical, and otherwise. You have to be mindful of those things. You know, that's why one of the things people tell other people who are looking to get into being an influencer or even being on social media is you have to have a thick skin, because people are going to say stuff about you no matter what you do. Like, I fully expect to, if I keep growing, to endure people who don't feel the way that I do about certain topics, and I'll hear about it on my Twitter, here in the comments on YouTube, things like that. But I honestly believe that if it wasn't James Charles, if it was someone else, nobody would be talking about this. I wanted to ask this question when Jackie Aina tweeted about white people not saying excuse me. Had Jackie not had that whole debacle with Petty Page. Had Jackie Aina versus Petty Page not happened, and the only thing people had on Jackie Aina was that she always brings up race and things like that, when in reality all she was doing was trying to convince brands to be inclusive. If it was on that level, would the shit show that took place after she tweeted what she tweeted have taken place? I honestly don't believe it would have. Some people would have been rubbed the wrong way by it, but I don't believe that it would have gotten the response that it did. Because the same thing happened with Bretman Rock. Not a few weeks later, he tweeted about dealing with white people's nonsense, and people made videos talking about, oh, I don't follow him, so unless you send me things, I'm not going to know what happened, which says that there are a lot less eyes on Bretman Rock. So he can kind of get away with saying things that other people can't get away with. The same amount of people aren't checking for him and aren't honestly waiting for him to trip up as they are with Jackie Aina. James, here are my collective thoughts about him. Everybody points out that he's young. He's 19. I don't think that he is a bad person. I honestly think that, and other people have said this, he is a young person who achieved fame very quickly, and he achieved a lot of success very quickly, and I don't believe, just by the way that he's acting, I don't believe that there are a lot of people around him who are checking him. And I don't mean by physically checking him, I'm sorry. There aren't people around him who are like, hey, maybe you need to not do this. Maybe you need to respond differently. Maybe you need to stop and think before you say this, before you tweet this, before you act out in this way. Like, it doesn't seem to me like he has people grounding him. He doesn't have those people that he can turn to be like, well, how do you think I should have handled this? He's a brand. And, you know, there needs to be somebody around him to remind him of that. You know, and some people may say he shouldn't have to be reminded that he's a brand, he should just know. But if this teaches anybody anything, it should be, you need to be mindful that you are also a brand. Like I said, I don't believe in censoring myself. I don't think anybody should have to censor themselves. But not everything that you say, do, and think is suitable for everybody in your audience. That I agree with. So set up that private Twitter account so where you and your friends can laugh and have a kiki about anything. There's a way to be you and still be professional. I don't think that James has somebody who can teach him that distinction. And honestly, it may just come with maturity. You know, but also immaturity can't be used to excuse everything. Like, he needs a reality check. Hopefully, if this situation teaches him anything, it's to one, set up a separate account, and two, learn from your mistakes. I think that's another issue, is he just doesn't seem to be learning from his mistakes. He seems very stubborn, a little bit hard-headed. And get you some friends who will tell you about yourself. You need people in your life who are going to ground you, who are going to help you focus, who are going to help you grow, so that even if this all goes away, you know how to dust yourself off, keep it moving, and conquer another realm. Because he is, one of the things that he is so blessed with is that he became who he is so very young. And he can go in any direction because he has more time than someone like me. I'm 36. He's 19. So the sky's the limit for everybody, but especially him because he's so young. And I would hate to see somebody just throw that all the way because he couldn't get a handle on himself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your thoughts and feelings down below. Let's have a conversation, a civil conversation. I don't want anybody attacking anybody about this. I know by making another video about James Charles, I'm inviting stans. I'm not here to hate on James. I too want him to do better. I want anybody in this game. I tweeted a couple months ago, I'm like, listen, if I follow you or if I see you on my timeline, I want you to win. I want everybody to win. There is more than enough for everybody to have a slice. So I just want James to do better for himself. I want everybody to do the best they can for themselves. Be mindful of everything going on around you and think about how you can maximize everything going for you. I will talk to you guys later. Have a fabulous day. I know there are a million videos you could have watched today. I humbly thank you for coming to slay.